When someone keeps telling you to be strong and courageous, you might suspect that you're up against something pretty big. And the Israelites were. Okay, they were about to enter the land that had been promised them 600 years before. They had a giant-sized task awaiting them. I mean, literally 40 years earlier, 10 spies had come back and told the Israelites that the inhabitants of the land they were promised were so big, they felt like they were the size of grasshoppers in comparison. Well, fear took them captive without even a battle taking place. And it sent them off as a group to wander around in a wilderness where they took their chances against the wild animals rather than face their giants. They wandered so long that those who had grasshopper-sized faith died out. And 40 years later, their children were ready to take the land. They were physically no taller than their parents had been, and the enemies of the land were no smaller than before. But the Israelites' faith muscles had grown. And there were two spies who had reported the land was theirs for the taking the first time around. And one of them was Joshua. Joshua is now the Israelites' leader. He was courageous. And God wanted to keep him that way. So God tells him 3 times in the first 9 verses of the chapter of Joshua, be strong and courageous. And he also reminds him, the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Folks, my guess is that you have a few giants in your life too. Some uphill battles that appear insurmountable. A task demanding more than you think you have to give. One too many things on your to-do list than you have the time or the energy to accomplish. Unemployment might be staring you down. Depression or has a grip on you, or bills have raided your bank account and left it empty. An illness hovers in your life like a threatening storm. And you'd rather just run and wander. Instead, be strong and courageous. You have Joshua that will lead the way, and the New Testament equivalent of the name of Joshua is Jesus. And Jesus has promised to be with you always. He tells us that in Matthew 28:20. Jesus knows how to lead you through the battles of life. He has a few of his own while he was on earth. And he had enemies attacking him with accusations, and there was no home and no bed, and crowds were they had expectations pressing in upon him, and the religious establishment eventually ensured that he was sentenced to a brutal death. Yet Jesus took on the most barbaric giant there was, that death. And Jesus lived to tell about it. And he can help you do the same. You need only to be strong and courageous in your faith. Amen? Amen.